Who are you?
This is probably the first time I've ever recorded before midday. This doesn't feel right. Is this supposed to like represent like the ease of the Savior's lives now? Like I don't say that, okay, I don't want to say their life is easy because that's like, it's a different kind of hard, right? But the fact that they're just leeching off all these different people, is this what this is showing us? And their sandwich, which I think kind of almost represents the good in their life, is built of just evil. Oh, do I not want to see you on my screen? What the hell? Look at that place. F. What's the F for? I really don't want a perspective from Negan's group. I've spoken a few reactions ago about whether the whole group's bad, and being there, done that. And I presume that some of them, or maybe even most of them, wouldn't be. But like, they're all... Maybe I have to pause it and talk about it. Basically, I spoke a few reactions ago, I think even in my Beyond the War, which if you haven't seen, go and watch, by the way. It's definitely worth watching those. They kind of add to the episodes now. They're not just standalone things, so they're worth watching them. But yeah, I spoke a lot about whether everyone in their group was bad. It's really hard to know, because when you've got someone that's that kind of leader, who puts that kind of fear in people, it makes sense to believe that there will be some that don't agree with what they do. They just follow out of fear, follow because they have to, follow out of survival instinct, follow because that's the only thing that they know how to do. We've had a brief brush with it before, and I'm not condoning what they do, because at the end of the day, it's one of those things where like, you can't win if you're in that situation. Like if you're in that situation, say you're a good person following under someone like Negan, you can't win. You've already lost at life. People won't accept you for what you've done. People are still going to hate you for that. But then if you try and get out of it, they're going to kill you anyway. So I feel like if you're under someone like that, you've already lost at life. The only thing that you can do is become evil. The only thing you can do is go down that same path and end up in that same way. And I saw a lot of people ask me questions like, if we'd follow Negan's perspective here, do I think that we would be more forgiving here? No. Maybe Negan's the one true rotten apple of that group, but there's no way that I will ever feel any sympathy for that guy. Not a chance in hell. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because there's that, just then, there's that really weird scene was as Negan's walking by, they all sort of get on their knees. Almost like avoid eye contact, like he's some kind of like, I don't know, he's above them. I just want to see our group, you know. Try to deal with the aftermath. What even is that place, for goodness sakes? Like, disgusting. Ooh, is that dog food? Oh, I know where that's going. Daryl. God's sakes. Yeah, nah. Horrible stuff, man. And the thing that gets to me about it as well is it's not even just about keeping Daryl anymore. It's about making him suffer. He's butt naked in pitch black eating dog food. Yeah, this will be Negan's orders though. 100%. He has no one to be there for him right now. Through all this emotional shit after what we've been through, he is by himself trying to process whether it's his fault or not. If you want to know my thoughts about whose fault it was, yada yada yada, the Beyond the Was are there. We're on Easy Street. Yeah, that sounds about right. What's this guy's name again? And they're literally torturing him. That's just the thing. I don't even accept people being like, oh, if we had been with Negan this whole time, would my perspective change? No. And the reason I say no is because if someone had attacked us, and we were like, if we, for whatever reason, were keeping someone captive as like blackmail or bait, which we have never done, if we were to do that, I guarantee you, even 99% of us wouldn't do this shit. This is just beyond. This is up above and beyond what you need to do. This is what the line you step between normal and sadism, right? And I was thinking, oh, maybe this guy, maybe he's just following Negan. They all went on their knees and sort of like not bowed to him, but you can tell that they fear him almost, right? Maybe. But you do this stuff by yourself. So mad. Oh, for God's sakes. Plans to put him out there, isn't it? They had F's on them, so maybe they've got a bunch of people like this. There were other... Wait, was that saying F or was it say something else?
Hey.
Oh, her.
Daryl, right?
Don't talk to him.
Oh, what? She...
It's negative.
Oh, well, maybe next time. Sorry. Still getting used to being my own assistant.
Oh, so this really is reaffirming my beliefs that not everyone's going to be like this.
Whatever they say. Just do it.
I said don't talk to him.
What? She's going to die. Know that for a fact. It's reaffirming my belief. Like, I kind of knew this was going to happen. Like, my logic has always been, like, in a group, a big group, you can't have everyone that's bad. When we were way back with Dawn, and we're in the hospital, I was saying to myself, there's no way that they can all be like this. Yeah, there have to be people that aren't, and there are people that weren't, right? And that's just a thing. How can I put this into perspective? Like, the governor, pretty much no one that followed him was bad. I don't know, have we really ever had a situation when everyone's been bad? I guess the termites is the closest, and we never even really got to explore them, so we don't even know, really. And they had their own backstory of their own. Yeah, there will be rotten eggs in every group, and they will most likely bubble to the top. We do have to be careful, but then again, like, has caution gone out the window? Like, if we have to save Daryl, right? If we end up coming here to save Daryl, how are we going to, like, sift and filter through the ones that are good and the ones that are bad? How is that even possible? Is it even worth thinking about that? Now, I know what I just said sounds kind of messed up, but what are we supposed to do? Not everyone's going to be bad. I get that. It's just... Holy frick, man. I don't even know what to think. Let me just press play again.
Negan will take care of you. Trust me.
Negan will take care of you. Yeah, if you bow down to him. Joke, man. Utter joke.
Dwighty boy.
Look how they kneel to
my
him.
associate for a minute.
Oh, they're going to do this, aren't they? They're going to do it. Put my brain in a crossfire of like, oh, look at this. Look at these rooms. Negan has outfitted them with everything they could possibly want to survive in the apocalypse. Oh, but he's doing everything he can for his group. No, it's not happening. It's not happening. And the reason it's not happening is because people are kneeling to him. People are scared of him. He's got this group out of fear. Oh, look at the state of it.
I'm getting the hang of this thing.
You're definitely going to die to that bow.
That's you, asshole. Unless you're smart. Your choice.
Like, here comes an interesting moral question. At what point do you just continue to do wrong, even though you know it's wrong? At what point do you just decide that you'd rather not exist? Does it ever happen, or is it just survival? Like, does your brain just get to the point of like, I'll do anything to survive? Some of these people in the group, if they're not bad, if I entertain their idea, which I am going to, how long does it take for them to start to break down morally? You know how Carol's breaking down for having to kill people and she's losing her mind? How long does it take for that to happen? And for people to just give up? Or do people then just... Maybe that's the breaking point. Maybe that's the whole point. Maybe that is genuinely what this world does to you. Either you end up breaking and probably dying, or just losing your mind, or you end up going down the path of evil and learning to live with making horrible decisions, desensitizing, becoming what you hate. I feel like maybe that's the whole point. No idea. Sorry guys, that's when it rains here, which it is raining pretty badly actually, the guttering spills out, so I don't know how long that was doing that for. Hopefully not too long.
I ain't never gonna kneel. Yeah, I said that too.
I ain't ever gonna kneel.
Yeah, no.
I take it maybe that's what happened to his face, for goodness sakes. He didn't kneel, he refused to, he ends up following Negan for whatever reason, but my point still stands. Live long enough to become the bad guy, or die soon enough to remain the good guy. But then again, like, if you live long enough and become the bad guy, you just are the bad guy, and I just can't make excuses for it. I have no idea, because I've never been in that situation. This is crazy how much this episode is making me think. It's making me think a lot about if I was in those shoes. If I was there long enough, would I snap? I like to think that it would just never be a thing that I do. I would just never ever stoop to those levels, but I have no idea what I would do in the face of that kind of danger. And God knows what Negan does to threaten him further. We've only seen him capture Daryl and obviously put him through what he did in 7x1. We haven't seen any of the other warning shots he sets off. What else does he do? I'm sorry, but all I see is Dwight killed Denise just to make an example. He has become what he hates. We are all Negan. Look, I'm going to make this almost a like poetic full circle. Negan is Negan, but when you sort of say we are all Negan, in my eyes that's almost like saying, yeah, we have become Negan. That is what we are now. Like, we've just accepted that step across the line and we are what we hate. We are the evil that got us here in the first place. That's what we are Negan means in my eyes. Daryl will never ever be Negan.
He is going apeshit.
Oh shit, idiot.
Hey man, some people are harder to break than others.
He's close.
Yeah, he is. You wanna have a little blast from the past with you know who?
Huh?
Kid, man, lighten up.
Blast from the past with you know who.
Are you okay down there?
Look at it.
Venus? I mean, that guy, he clumped on it. Or is it?
Oh.
I'm fine.
Look at that.
Are you cool, Dwight? I mean, I just said that it was happy hour at the Pussy Bar and Dwight.
You know, I kind of feel bad for. I mean, I don't know why, because the guy's horrid. But Dwight, I feel a little bit bad for him because he's just taking the piss out of him. This is bringing back memories of season 1, 2, like with Shane and like what he was doing, and a lot of people would ask me like, do I like accept Shane for what he's done? Do I like this, that, the other? And I always kept saying it, like, and it used to annoy people. Like, I used to always try and see the good in people and think of the good things, and I would always try and reaffirm this, which people just never managed to grasp that's what I was doing. But there's a difference in me forgiving someone, which is not what I'm doing, not even a chance in hell, and understanding why. There's a big difference. Now, Negan, I'm never going to want to do that. I never want to understand why with him. But everyone beneath him, I do want to understand the why, because I want to know why follow someone like that. The reason I'm probably more open to following Dwight, if that's his name, is, if you think about it, realistically, why didn't he just kill Daryl? When he saw Daryl that day, why not just kill him then and there? The very first act that we saw with him, yes, he robbed him, but he didn't kill him. So I'm starting to think to myself, why does Dwight do what he does? Is it just out of fear, yada yada yada? But once again, not forgiving. Manipulative bastard. That's what you are, that's all you are. Oh, for God's sake, that song is just irritating. Imagine he forgets to lock the door. The music sucks. I don't know if I'm particularly happy about this, guys, because I genuinely feel like when she was warning Daryl to say, just do as you're asked and it will be fine, that she... Or they set little traps like this on purpose, just to see how he acts. To let him out on purpose and then be like, oh, gotcha. Where the hell's Daryl supposed to go? Like, it's not like he can just run off. They'll know he's gone and they'll find him. I know something crazy, like that's just been crossing my mind. Why do I feel like Dwight's gonna be the one thing that, the reason that Daryl was almost able to get out? What happened to all these walkers, by the way? Why are they all alive, but like... Well,
Go back while you can. You know I did. Whatever he's done to you,
it'll be so much worse.
there's always more. You won't get away.
I genuinely feel like she's telling him, well, she's giving him good advice. How's Daryl gonna listen to that? God's sakes. It's gonna be so much worse.
Oh, we ain't pissing our pants yet.
I hate you so much.
Who are you?
Negan.
Who are you?
Negan.
Who are you? Negan. You see that?
I knew, like, it is gonna be that, isn't it? Like, becoming Negan is like losing your humanity almost. I'm not saying that you could lie about it, but like, I mean, truly becoming Negan is like losing yourself, you know, like you just become another part of the problem. That's what I was talking about. I feel like once you get in this situation, there's no winning. Like you just lose, you're just done. You're done. He's trying to do that to Daryl. He's trying to strip Daryl of who he is.
Now, Dwight gave you some options.
Death, slavery, or
No.
losing yourself.
There is no door number 4. This is it. This is the only way. Screw it.
Whoa. He ain't scared of you.
You don't scare easy. I love that. But Lucille,
Lucille, I thought it was...
well, it kind of pisses her off. She finds it to be disrespectful. Lucky for you, she's not feeling too thirsty today.
He's not flinching, you twit.
Just let me go.
Oh, he was trying to escape.
Everything's his, or will be.
I know.
So he literally is just a tyrant. Like, so I need to reassess this whole thing. Not him.
I said, keep
I think
walking.
he'd rather die.
Thug swoops in with a baseball bat and a smile, and we're all so scared that we gave up everything.
Exactly.
But there's only one of him and all of us, so why are we living like this? Because look where we are!
Come on, Dwight. I know, the thing is, right, I know he has to kill him.
Get up! If you feel, get up. Or I'll put every person you ever talk to on the fence. I'll blindfold them, and I'll make them eat shit sandwiches for the rest of their short, sorry lives. You won. But you know there's nothing left.
He's gonna kill him out of sympathy now, you watch. Holy shoot, do I need to talk about that. Oh my god. What do they do to her? That's my question. What do they keep doing to her?
He good to you?
Yeah.
This episode has messed with my
Did
mind.
the right thing.
I'm gonna hate that song for the rest of my life.
You got your friend killed. I got Tina killed. You should be dead. But Negan's taking a shot at you.
This is exactly though why, like I'm not saying that I'm doing it now, like, so don't jump to that conclusion, but way back in season 1, 2, 3, blah 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 blah, when I kept saying I want to know why they do what they do, I want to understand what their motives are, that's why it's so important. Like, people always tell me off for it, for goodness sakes, but like, I till this day believe it is, it's so freaking important. The hell is that? What is that? Oh, is that a photo of hell? See, little things like that just don't make sense to me. That is why I believe that becoming Negan is like losing who you are. There's no forgiveness. Looks like he doesn't look like he enjoys doing it, but it's who he is now. I have so much to talk about. It's actually mind-blowing. Look at that, Dwight.
Dwighty boy here stole all the medication and took off with his super hot wife and my super hot, maybe soon-to-be fiance.
Oh, was that when he came back with the bike?
I had to send my guys after him. He still got away.
So you're telling me, so Dwight, he kind of like, I guess the point of this is this, Negan's sort of saying that Dwight learned his lesson, that he can't escape. Like, Negan's all about these little lessons and mind games and about, you know, getting that look out of people's eye, and almost like, I feel like this place, becoming Negan is almost like he is Negan, but then becoming Negan is almost like a metaphor for like almost becoming an extension of Negan himself. Like, there's no escaping that. Like, once you're in, you're in.
D, he saw the light. He
I don't think he
up.
did. Oh, I
He
think
came back. He
You know
asked
what?
for my forgiveness.
I think he's actually...
I like that. But Lucille, well, you know how she is. He begged me not to kill Sherry. But then Sherry says that she will marry me if I let Dwight live. Anyways, it was a start. But it wasn't enough. So Dwight, he got the iron.
That's what happened.
Then I married a super hot wife. And then after all that, he still got on board. And now look at him. Pow!
Now that I know how this is kind of run, and like even the worst, which I thought was Dwight, even the worst in people, they still have their stories as to why this is why it is. The one thing I will say is, like I said this a while ago, but Negan is a dumbass. Like he is literally creating an army of people that have a reason to hate him.
And we are totally cool.
Are you
being,
though?
All you gotta do
Say, I'm Negan.
is answer one simple question. Who are you?
Gut says he should just say it to save his life, but...
Daryl.
Yeah, come on, Daryl.
Grace.
Nah, you, exactly.
He made his choice.
You're gonna wind up in that room or hanging on the fence?
I'm mad. I
get what he did.
My blood boils.
Why he took it? You were thinking about someone else.
Oh, did he bring back the guy that he, Gosh, have I got a lot to say. It's weird. I almost feel a little bit bad for being so, like, close-minded in the last episode. I don't know. We've got a lot to talk about. Okay, first things first, I just want to say this is a little bit after me for when did I record this? 36 hours since I recorded the reactions. It's been a little while. I have a lot I want to talk about, so I've got a little notepad that I was writing on toward the end of the reaction. There was a lot of stuff I wanted to say, and I've trimmed it down, but the reaction was actually like 26 minutes long with no outro, which means it was probably going to end up being like 35 minutes long, which is way too long. So I ended up cutting it down. I've got stuff I want to talk about. I'm going to try to limit myself to talk about a few things, and if I run out of time, I might have to do a topic in Beyond the War, but I kind of want a question for that. If you want to ask a question for Beyond the War in this video, I'm going to put a little comment down there saying like, put your questions here. The best one's gonna show in the next episode of that series. Genuinely pick the best one. The most thought-provoking, spoiler-free, obviously, question goes there. But anyway, let's start before I waste all my time talking about nonsense. So in this reaction, we had a lot going on. It was quite a Dwight. I don't really know how to say his name properly, but it was a very him-focused episode. We got a lot about his process, Negan's process, and what it means to follow Negan. The first thing I want to talk about is the concept of becoming Negan. I kept saying it in the reaction that it felt really poetic, because it almost feels to me like that final step of becoming Negan is almost like the last step to losing yourself. Almost like you're signing your life away, and like there's no step back from that. You sign away your chance to do good, in a sense. Or not to do good, but to be forgiven. You sign that chance away almost. And it's a lot more complicated because there are people that don't really have a choice. But that's what I was trying to say in the reaction, is it genuinely feels like when you become Negan, it doesn't matter how good you are, it doesn't matter whether you're doing it to protect other people, it doesn't matter at all. What that entails to become Negan is just not a good thing. No matter why you have to do it, in my eyes, like it's just a bad thing. Maybe my mind will change about this over time, but the whole becoming Negan thing is just, I believe, is the last step to losing yourself. And there's no winning. So like, even if you feel like, you know, that's not who you are, but you're actively doing those things, you've lost. You know, you're no longer a good person. It's hard to say because maybe I'll eat my words. Maybe it will happen to Daryl. I don't think it will, but maybe it does for all I know. Like I said, I believe there's a point where you can lie about it, but this is why I believe the whole story of Dwight becomes quite important, because his situation is really interesting, because he genuinely tried to escape Negan. He clearly didn't want anything to do with this, but then he kind of knew on his journey to run away, like he almost felt like there was no escaping that, and like that decision then to go back was like, for me, was becoming Negan. There was a point in his life when he had a decision whether to become Negan or not to. Well, I think he chose wrong, but he did it to protect the people he cares about. But then again, like the motive kind of gets lost in the action, you know, like it's all well and good if you can think about the why someone does it. I spoke a lot about the why people do what they do in the apocalypse. It's all well and good having that and understanding that and thinking about that, but where the problem becomes is at what point does that not matter? At what point is that kind of just a fact to know rather than something to consider? And I genuinely think after you've become Negan, it no longer becomes something to consider but just something to know. And as you guys know, I speak a lot about the why and people and the psychology and the motives and all these different things, and I think they are crucial generally in the apocalypse. They're absolutely crucial. And like I said, I'm not sitting here forgiving Dwight. I'm not sitting here saying that, you know, I forgive him for the things he's done, because he's made that decision to become Negan and he's done bad things as a result of that. Yes, originally maybe the motive was survival, protecting the ones he cares about, yada yada yada, but you lose that. Like I said, when you choose to become Negan, you lose that. That's just my personal belief. I don't know what you guys think, and I know this is going to spark a bit of a debate, but just try bear in mind that I'm literally experiencing this for the very first time. This is the first moment I've had to think about this, and Dwight is the first character which like has sort of changed my mind a little bit. At first I thought, oh, all these saviors are bad, all this is bad, all that is bad, yada yada yada, but this episode has completely and utterly swiveled my viewpoint to more focusing on the fact that Negan's the problem and he's creating more problems. Now, like I said, I think it's too far to be redeemed for Dwight. I think there's a chance for him to be understood, or there's a chance for him to do good, but it's just there isn't really redemption. Maybe there's an ounce of redemption, but like it's more about understanding him now, and he may have a redeeming action, but he won't be forgiven. I think that's what I'm trying to say. He's lost the opportunity to be forgiven because of the decision he made. And that's why I think one of the most important things of this episode is redemption versus forgiveness, or redemption versus understanding. Like there's all these key sort of terms that I keep using, which I don't really know what to think about yet, because in my eyes, Negan is irredeemable, unforgivable, and I don't really want to understand him. But everyone that follows him, or most of the ones that follow him, I want to understand them so I can like work out whether they're still there enough to be not forgiven, but I think maybe I want to use the word redeemed, but I don't want people to take it the wrong way. I genuinely feel like Dwight's going to do good, and he's going to be a huge part of maybe Daryl getting out. But that doesn't mean I'm going to forgive him for what happened to Denise, for what he's done in all the other situations. To follow Negan, to do what he's done and become what he's become, is a decision that's just horrible. But then again, do I blame him for being in that situation, or is it just against his will? For example, let's put it this way. If you get bitten by a walker, you're dead, right? You're dead. That's your story written. I kind of am trying to equate this becoming Negan as that same thing. Like, the person you were is dead. Time run out. Clock over. The person you were is gone. But that doesn't mean the person you are can't then try and do something good. And I do feel bad for Dwight. I do. Because I think he did everything he did. He probably did to protect those he cares about. Everything he does is probably out of fear for the people he cares about, but he still does wrong. So I feel bad for him because, like I said in the reaction, I think he was put in an impossible situation where you can't win. There is no out. It's shit, but it just is what it is. The same way if someone got bitten, you'd be like, well, that's crap, but it is what it is. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. I feel like Dwight might become a quite interesting thing to talk about in Beyond the Wall anyway, because I am almost running out of time. So yeah, I've spoken about becoming Negan, how I think there's stages of becoming Negan. I think you can lie about becoming Negan, but he'll know, right? Negan will know if you mean what you say. He'll know if you have truly become what he sort of sees you as becoming. Does that make any sense? There are stages of it, and I believe that he's trying to push Daryl over the edge. He's trying to strip Daryl of himself in stages, and then his ideal is to basically have control over him. Yeah, so like this whole episode has shifted my belief on the saviors. These people are unfortunate. They've lost who they were, but that doesn't mean that like that's the end of their story. Their story could still end on a good note, and I believe Dwight's will. I don't see him surviving, because I see the next, if he were to disobey Negan again, he'd probably end up out in those sticks. But I genuinely believe that him and that girl, who's already sort of been a bit sneaky, there's good in them. Yeah, but it's been very, very complicated. A very, very complicated one to understand, because, like, how do I interpret this becoming Negan? How do I interpret any of it? Do I believe that these people are beyond forgiveness? Do I believe that they're irredeemable? I'm starting to feel like a little bit guilty for saying that they are, but it's like I don't really know what to think. Maybe I'm in risky territory of speaking too soon about something I've only just been introduced to. Even if you do become Negan, there's no coming back from that. Like in Dwight's eyes, he's probably thinking to himself, like if he ever does have a redemption decision or an act, I believe he will make that decision sort of knowing that he's not going to make it out the other side of it, but knowing it was the right thing to do, and sort of keeping a tiny bit of himself, like maybe he wasn't all gone. But we do need to be very careful, and this does open up questions about when we did go and kill all those people, were they all bad? Probably not. But maybe does that open up questions about that? I don't know. But yeah, I think the interesting debate to go forward is, if you do wrong because it's the only thing you can do, what does that mean for you? If you're a good person, you know that mentally you're never going to be able to forgive yourself anyway. Even if other people forgive you, you're never going to be able to forgive yourself. And if you can just sort of move on from it, then you're probably more like Negan. Tells you everything you need to know. Say I went and did what Dwight did, and did it to protect his wife or himself, or if they genuinely thought it was the only way to survive, does that make me a bad person? That's the question. I don't think it's a straightforward answer. Anyone that says it is, like, this will spark debate, and that tells you everything you need to know, right? It's not a straightforward answer. But if people want a more in-depth thought about that, you know what? The next Beyond the Wall is going to be beefy. But anyway, I think I need to leave that there, guys. This episode is a long one. It's probably breaching the 30-minute mark again. Like I said, guys, if you haven't seen that video that came out with today, actually, the importance of Beyond the Walls, if you are a regular watcher and you are avidly following my journey, then you want to watch those. They are crucial to understanding my point of view. I might change my point of views. I might, there might be a lot of different things going through my mind that you don't see in these reactions because they are spoken about there. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, guys, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for new content every single week. And of course, follow the Instagram, then you read with 2 Ds. And as ever, let me know down below thought the episode, the reaction, and I'll get to those as soon as humanly possible. Beyond the Wall questions, dunk them down below. And yeah, that's all from me. As ever, this has been your boy Dan. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.